Let me show you something that, I said the day that you heard me speak. My routine was, we retired in 2017. We were enjoying life, and every morning I get up at 5, get my coffee, I sit in this chair, lean back, and listen to music. Basically just instrumental, easy listening, instrumental music, and do a variety of things, look at some scripture, listen to some good music. But I had a routine, and I enjoyed that routine. And then when 2020 happened, I get frustrated with everything that's going on in the country. And we started with mask mandates, and then we went to George Floyd's death and the riots and tearing down monuments and all that. And by the time the November election came around, I was pretty uptight, and I'm one of those people that stayed up all night and watched what's going on that night. And then when January the 6th happened, I sat right here and watched that and wept. And I said, that's what these people have been wanting to happen. We now look like bad people. And so I cried when that same day, I think, my wife Linda said, Joe, you gotta quit watching TV. So I did, but I ended up reading 3 books. And as I read those 3 books, all of them led me to realize that we need to get involved in politics at the grassroots level. So I went out trying to find people that would run for something, run for school board, run for county council, run for anything. The last book that I read was a book called I, Citizen. And in that, he made it clear that unless we get personally involved, that we can't change the country back to what our founders intended. And after when I read that book, within 48 hours of the time I finished reading it, I read in my local newspaper that my state house representative had been indicted. So I start trying to find somebody to run for that office. And one person stepped up and said she might run. She decided not to. Another person stepped up, said she might run. She decided not to. So I'm in my chair one morning, and I've been handing this little sign out that says, if not now, when? If not you, who? And it was sitting there just like that. So I'm leaned back in my chair, listening to my music, and I see that. And I did what I'm doing now. I began to weep. And I felt so strongly that the Lord was saying to a 76-year-old man, it's you and it's now. So when Linda got up that morning, I said, Linda, I think God is telling me I need to run for this state house seat. And she responded like any sane person would. And she said, do what? Are you serious? And I said, well, I just felt this morning that God was telling me I need to do that. Within 48 hours, she came to me and said, Joe, I agree. We need to run for this seat. And so I did. And, the rest of the story is pretty simple. I put down my $208 to run for the seat. That was on a Tuesday. On Friday, a man called me. His name's Alan Jenkins. You'll meet him tonight. He's from Whitmire, and he said, Mr. White, I've been thinking about running for this seat myself. Could we meet for lunch? I'd like to talk to you. I said, sure. So we met down here in Chapin. And as we talked for about 45 minutes, he said, Mr. White, I'm not going to run for this, but I want to support you. I've got a group that meets every Saturday in Whitmire. Would you come talk to my group sometime? I said, sure, if you'll send me the address. I said, what time they meet? He said, 7:30. Well, it's about a 45-minute drive from here. I said, I'll be there tomorrow morning. Just send me the address and I'll show up. So I did. And I went in. It happened to be in the basement of First Baptist Church in Newberry. And it happened to be a prayer and Bible study group. And they interrogated me for 2 hours. They wanted to know everything about my business, my faith, my family, everything that they could ask, they asked. After 2 hours, a lady by the name of Maria Dickerson had tears running down her cheeks. And she said, Mr. White, I'm so glad we met you this morning. We've been praying for you for 2 years, and we got to meet the man we've been praying for.
Amen.
I came home, and I told my wife, I said, we're going to win this. And Sure enough, we did. So that's how I got involved. I was a happily retired man. We had bought a little RV. We were traveling the country, having fun, visiting kids and grandkids. And all that changed that morning when I sat in this chair.
Sure.